he had filled up the entire cartridge, and I was like, dude, how do you fill it so much? And he like stood up and on the bench, and he was like, hey guys, Varun doesn't know how to fill ink in his pen, ha ha ha. So it kind of, that was my initiation to fountain pens, or rather that's my first memory of it. I always saw myself like fascinated by it and actually thoroughly enjoying the writing experience. I actually had like a corn in my thumb, so that was because of something stupid I'd done as a kid, and so I couldn't really press hard, so it physically hurt to write with ball pens. But through my multiple engineering courses, I was forced to write with ball pens. And I think it was somewhere when I was trying to kiss ass for my college principal, and he used to use fountain pens, and I was like, I'm going to get myself a fountain pen. That's honestly how I got reinitiated into it. Ever since then, I think that opened up the opportunity, or the newfound curiosity for fountain pens, coupled with the internet and YouTube and all its magic,
Varun, just
kind of
once
opened
again,
up a lot.
sorry to interrupt. If you're not speaking, can you please mute your audio? Otherwise, it interrupts with Varun's audio or whoever's. I think that's Suhas, if I can hear this right.
No. Suhas is on the highway. You can mute them because you're the host.
Okay.
Click on participants.
I don't want to do that.
And then you have controls.
Mute yourself. Yeah, good. So continue.
You can make me the host. Yeah, and I think like through the magic of YouTube and free content creation, like these things that typically don't make a lot of money in terms of inks and things like that, they really started seeing a lot of that. Of course, it was Goulet pens that got me hooked, and showed me that there's actually a whole universe out there. My first
year, my content again, so I'm gonna.
I can't.
Shush now.
Okay, and so the first fountain pen was a Parker Frontier that like I really bought for myself and used. Then it was, I thought the next one's going to be a Pilot Metropolitan, but it wasn't. And I think that's a good segue for Apurva from there.
Okay. So I'll tell you how my fountain pen journey got started. Again, like Meghna said, 5th grade, good handwriting, hero pen. And I loved writing with fountain pen. I remember even kind of making a mess about fountain pens, right? And I stopped using them in high school like most of us did. But I still remember this one fountain pen that I had in school. That was this red, shiny hero pen. So the typical hero pens would cost 35 rupees. But this hero pen, which I got for my Kannada exam, I still remember. Kannada was something that I dreaded writing. It would take like ridiculously long amount of time. And I got this hero pen to make the exam smoother, and it was 80 rupees. And I think that's the first heavy fountain pen purchase I've made in my life. And like the rest, I stopped using them. And I actually got back to fountain pen about 3 years ago with a gift from a dear friend. So the first pen I again started, and this time it was in the luxury series. It was...
I'm right here, dude. Like, what dear friend?
I'm going to mute you now. Okay, so Varun was who introduced me to fountain pens again. But yeah, I've taken off on my own after that. I've given you your due credit. So this was the first pen I started out with again in 2017. This was the Parker Frontier. And a word of advice, Parker is an American company, and do not buy American pens mostly. Not very good. You want to go with either Japan or Europe for your fountain pens. So this is a very good pen to start, because whatever pen you choose next will be like, oh my God, what is this beautiful thing? So I remember when I got this fountain pen, and it was, I think, 650 rupees. And I'm like, what the hell? Why would you spend 650 on a pen, right? And he's like, no, it's okay. Try writing with it. And that was my first fountain pen where I, had a wide-eyed reaction to a 650 rupees fountain pen. And recently, I bought a pen. It's called a Diplomat Aero. So this pen costs 16,000. So in the span of 3 years, I went from, oh my God, 50 to a pen which costs 16,000, and I'm just like, no, you know what? I've earned this. I need this. I'm gonna buy this. That's the justification I gave myself, at least. But I'm
like
okay.
somebody.
I'm gonna share with you how it moved from 650 to 16,000, and how fountain
Oh,
pen.
script. Okay, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, how it's kept me hooked for 3 years. So that's this whole purpose of doing this. And the end goal is, at least if one of you want to try fountain pen at the end of this, I would consider the session a huge success. So apart from class, style, elegance, which fountain pens beats any other pens by a huge margin, it's also sustainable. I hear that's a word around the street these days. It has to be sustainable. So that's how I'm going to sell my fountain pen, sustainable. So if you can maintain a fountain pen well, it will serve you an entire lifetime, and sometimes even through next generations. But if your kids are undeserving, don't give them fountain pens. Just pass it on to me. I take care of it. Okay. Um, so yeah, let's go back to interaction a little bit more. I'll pick a few more people to talk and put you in the spotlight. I would really love it if you could switch on videos and people could see your face. Abhishek, why don't you talk about your fountain pen journey?
Okay. So before that, more than sustainability, I think maybe Atmanirbharta is the buzzword these days. But anyway, um, so yeah, I think my first fountain pen was probably a Camlin one, and the first ink I bought was Telpark, not Brill. Telpark used to be lighter. Then obviously I moved on to Hero pens, a bunch of Hero pens. I think the 40 rupees Hero pens were what was considered original. So there used to be this arrow kind of mark near the nib, and they supposedly had iridium tip nips, which I doubt because I think iridium is a super heavy
Expensive.
element.
Yeah. And
I
it's
mean,
very
I think
expensive.
it's below osmium or above osmium in the table anyway. And yes, I was obsessed with getting them to be very smooth and having that butter smooth experience, which one of my friends used to, but I never could get it. So yeah, for a lot of years I struggled to fill ink. I mean, there were two ways you could fill it. Either you could use the filler, or you could remove the thing, and you know what I'm talking about, the second way of filling ink to the fountain pens. But after a few years it passed. I think either I moved on to gel pens, probably Add Gel, and since then I haven't come back. So when a friend wrote letters to me, like actual physical letters, she had written them using fountain pens, but apart from them I haven't had a chance to come back. And maybe if you lend one of yours, I mean, probably that's the only
Yeah,
way I'm going to
that's
get
not
back
going to
to.
happen.
Yeah,
So
that's
ambitious. No, I might steal your pens, or make you give them to me somehow. But yeah, you will never come in possession of my fountain pens. Okay, so now that we'll keep having these interactions through the session. So guys, I hope you guys stay, and if you want to talk about something, please send it to me in a chat, or you can just unmute yourself and talk. uh, how I'm going to go about the session is, one is the actual fountain pen, then is the nips, then inks, and then the paper. So all four of these, I'll address it individually. Before that, I thought we could all watch a video about why fountain pens are so special to a few people around the world, and I hope to a lot more. Um, 1 second. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. Can all of you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
People who think fountain pen maintenance and repair and customizing are boring simply haven't played with it enough. Fountain pens are like people. Everyone has a unique personality. I've been repairing pens professionally since 2000. In terms of the number of people who do everything that I do, there may be a half a dozen in the world. Some of the most interesting technology of the past 2 centuries has gone into the development of fountain pens. And in addition to that, a fountain pen is a really personal accessory. It's the most personal accessory you can have, but it also expresses you through your handwriting in a way that no other instrument can. The world seems to think that handwriting is a lost art, but more and more people seem to be turning away from the isolation, the computerization of the internet and computers and phones and so forth. They want something a little more personal, a little more deep in their lives, and fountain pens are one way to achieve that. A fountain pen is really a controlled leak. The control comes in the design of the parts that keep it from leaking when it's not supposed to. You can do a thing on pens day after day, and then suddenly hit a pen that doesn't do what you expect it to do. You have to develop new techniques. You have to branch out. There's always something to learn. I never go a day without learning something new about fountain pens and how to work on them.
Hey, so all of you could see that, right?
Yep.
Can I get some response?
Yeah,
Yes,
but
it
it was,
Yes.
Oh,
It was actually pretty laggy, but
yeah,
but
it's choppy.
like
If you could share a link later, it would be
maybe
nice.
later on.
oh my God. Okay, you know what?
Yeah. Maybe you can just share the link.
Yeah, I'll share the link.
Now you want to shut up, don't you?
Yeah. So, why I'm doing this session?
Apurva, share a link on the chat
I
so
will
that
share
everyone can get
all
it.
links of everything that I used today with my personal recommendations as well. I will share that. You will really enjoy that video without the lag of Zoom. So yeah, that was just to get you excited about this. So behind everything that we do is a why, right? Like, why am I doing this today? Because fountain pens are a pretty niche topic. Like, who cares, dude? Just use a 3 rupees pen, or why are you making this into such a big deal? It's just a writing instrument. I think what fountain pen signifies to me is of a slow life, where your life is a deliberated effort, where you think, where you plan, and where you do it. And it's not like, oh, I forgot this pen, I can just borrow, right? No. You're going to have to plan your fountain pens. You're going to have to choose your fountain pens. You have to choose your inks. You have to fill your inks. You have to maintain your inks. And there is no throwability of fountain pens. You know, if this pen that I was telling you about 16K, if something goes wrong with this pen, rest assured I'm not throwing it, but I'll find every way possible in the world to fix it. So this nature of fixing things rather than throwing away things is the philosophical aspect of why I love fountain pens, and the fact that it signifies a slow life where you can think everything before actually doing it, and it's such a juxtaposition to the world we live in. It's just so fast. And leaving that aside, let's just move on to fountain pens now. So first I'm going to show you my fountain pen collection, and then we'll go into that individually. So let's go chronologically. This was the first pen I ever got. This is the Parker. All of you should get a Parker, because it will help you compare how many better pens there is out there. So it's a very beautiful curve to take in your life. Get a Parker, move on from Parker, never stay with just a Parker, okay? The next pen I got was a Pilot Metropolitan. So I remember the day I actually wrote with this pen. I remember it was January 8, 2018. And I was in a mall, and one of my friends got this pen for him, but then I wrote it for the first time. I remember something permanently changing inside my brain that day, because that experience was so surreal. I hadn't written with anything like this before, and I don't know what it was. The ink, the paper, and the pen at the right time, right place just created this experience for me. That's what makes me so attached. So no matter how many expensive pens I'll buy in my lifetime, the Pilot Metropolitan is always my go-to. I take it to work. I write letters with it. My most personal letters are usually written with this pen. Right? So you attach like a certain emotion to each pen, and all of these new pens are amazing, amazing technology, snazzy, beautiful. But the first time it makes an impression, that's what it stays. This was that Pilot Metropolitan. And then I got another Pilot Metropolitan. They're just the greatest. Also, if you want to buy a pen, just one pen. You don't have to go crazy like me. Just choose one pen and it can serve you well for the rest of your life. Like, no, technology cannot stay for that long, but the pens can. I would really recommend you go with a Pilot Metropolitan. It's a little expensive. I think it costs, you might actually get it for under 1,000 now, if I'm not wrong, on Amazon. But this black one is a little more expensive than others. But just go for one pen, go for Pilot Metropolitan, and choose a good ink, and you'll never need any other pen in your life. So after the Pilot Metropolitan, my next pen was a Faber. So by the way, Pilot is manufactured in Japan. So this is very important. Okay, someone's telling me to mute everyone else. Okay, I think everybody is muted. Yeah. So the Pilot Metropolitan is from Japan, and Japan is known for its crazy manufacturing skills. They have precision that no one matches, and it's shown in their fountain pens as well, especially in their nibs. The finesse of their nibs is unmatched practically anywhere in the world. Even Europe, America is not even in the picture with fountain pens. The two main regions which produce good fountain pens are Japan and Europe. But yeah, Pilot just stands out, and it's actually quite inexpensive compared to the whole range of fountain pens. Now moving on, the next pen I got was a Faber-Castell Loom. So Faber-Castell is from Germany. Germany is a haven for fountain pens. You get like amazing fountain pens. They have 4 beautiful manufacturers of fountain pen right in Germany. One is Faber-Castell, the other is Kaweco, other is TWSBI, and the other is Diplomat Aero, which I just showed you. So Faber-Castell is definitely smoother than Pilot Metropolitan. The thing about fountain pens is there is a graph. That is, the more cost increases, the smoother it gets. But the graph is, it increases up to a certain point and then it flattens out. So we're still in the increasing curve. The Faber-Castell is definitely smoother than Pilot Metropolitan, but it's also rather heavy. So, you know, I wouldn't prefer writing with it every day. It's just rather for special occasions. I hope you guys can see it a little more clearly now. Yeah, but it is like butter. It is beautiful. It's like cutting through butter with a hot knife. Cutting through butter with a hot knife is the exact experience I would describe using Faber-Castell with. And Faber-Castell did test my loyalty from Pilot just for a little bit. I'm just like, okay, maybe I like this pen a little more than Pilot. But no, because of its weight, I don't think I can go back to it as much as I can to Pilot. The next pen I got was a Kaweco. Kaweco is again from Germany. This may have been a little bit of a vanity vibe because it's, I don't know if you can see the rose gold shade of it. It's beautiful rose gold color that I've been drooling on for so long. And I like this pen, but I don't think it definitely makes into my favorite pen because maybe the intention was I went for its looks more than its functionality. A lesson for all of you, by the way. So it does not really make it into my top list of fountain pens, but it's still a very good experience to write with, and it's so petite. Look at this. See, so tiny. Very, very beautiful, small size fountain pen that you guys can use. I'm sure a lot of you might like Kaweco, but it's just not for me. I prefer my pens to be a little long, bigger than this. I already have tiny hands. I don't want tiny pens as well. Okay, so after this.
So I just have one question here.
Yeah.
So, you know, like with the rose gold, I mean, so I did kind of go into the Kaweco universe a little bit. And like, what is it about the pen that you did not enjoy? Not just that, you know, it's ergonomics, because if you post it, it's quite a well-balanced pen. Right?
Yeah, yeah. So I don't
so
think
like, what is it about the feel?
Yeah, I don't like the flowability of the ink in the pen. You know, it's not as organic as it is with a Pilot or a Lamy. there is a possibility I could be using a wrong ink for this pen. So I am actually experimenting it with different inks. But right now, the smoothness comes nowhere near Lamy or
Got it.
Pilot or Faber-Castell or any other pen I have.
And it's always a dry start.
Exactly. So it's not as wet as the other inks in the pen. And the next pen is the Lamy. So typically, this is the entrant pen for most people. It's a beautiful pastel blue. I don't know if sunlight is not letting you see it. Okay, maybe now you can. Yeah, so this is a typical entrant pen for most people, the Lamy. But I got this quite late in my fountain pen journey. Great for your everyday use. If you don't want to buy the Pilot, this is another great way to go. Just get a Lamy Safari, and that will also serve you an equally long time. There's a fountain pen community in which we were talking, and there's this old man who told that he's been using Lamy for about 50 years now, and it's still in top condition. And the next pen I got was the Diplomat Aero. So the thing with fountain pens and the philosophical aspect of the slow part of it is you can't impulse buy a fountain pen because a lot of money goes into it. A lot of deliberation, a lot of research, a lot of thought goes into before you buy the actual pen. So this was that. I deliberated for an entire year. Also because I could not afford it until I saved up for an entire year. So this is my most recent buy. And I think this is where the growth of the curve stops. This is probably as good as quality of writing will get. And after this, it's mostly design of aesthetics and how good it looks. So fun fact, the Diplomat Aero is designed after an aircraft called Zeppelin. And this whole body is aluminum and it has ridges like this. So, it's very good grip and very smooth. And so this is the pen. Yeah, this is the Diplomat Aero. And then I recently got a Schaefer. It's again an American pen. I think it's a personal bias, but I don't really like using American fountain pens as much as I do with Japan or European pens. So I do use this for an everyday use, but definitely nowhere near my top 10. And of course, I have a quintessential dip pen that I got for my birthday this year. So this is your older years dip and write glass fountain pen. So I will show you how to write with this. It's quite fascinating because the first thing is how will it retain ink, right? So we'll actually write with this a little later in the session and see how well it writes. Varun, you're raising your hands. Yes. You can
No, that was a while ago. I think no, that was a while ago. So I mean, you've transitioned to the next topic. I think we should get on with it.
Okay. So now that I've introduced my fountain pens, I'll maybe give the spotlight back to you a little bit more. Anybody who would like to speak, or I can choose actually. Who's AG? AG, can you speak up? I think that's.
Yeah, hi, it's Abhishek.
Yeah. Okay. Gokul, do you remember using any fountain
Thank
pen?
you.
Yeah, after hearing all you guys, my memory is pretty warped,
That's okay.
honestly speaking. Honestly, okay. But see, this is one feeling. I can remember the feeling associated with the pen, so I'll go for it.
Please.
For me, the simplest thing used to be like, effectiveness, efficiency, and the smoothness, which I somehow found in the basic Camel or Camlin, I think, the pen that I've used. And Hero always seemed like a big upgrade on that. In terms of cost, in terms of like, even while writing, I didn't think I found it that comfortable. I think the technology was different. The shape of the nib and the size of the nib was all a little different. So and then Parker was those like some in some other universe. So I think I used Parker, but I don't know if I used Parker fountain pens. I think it was the other, whatever, the ball or whatever the other technology is. I think Hero Pen for me, the thing was there was somehow there was less smoothness when compared to a Camlin pen that I used. And somehow once I got used to that, and it was also this other way of putting ink, right? You dip it and you pull it or whatever.
Yeah.
And the ink used to get over very fast.
Yeah.
So I think that was this unpredictability also with that Hero Pen. So I'm
the
like, for me,
chaos.
Camlin and
The chaos of carrying an ink bottle to school. I don't know if any of you experienced this, but we did not like a teacher in school. So what we did is we took the Hero Pen and we just like spilled ink. I didn't do this. I was a good kid at school, but my benchmates did. That was a sweet revenge. I remember
Why did you start off the sentence with we then?
I solidarity with my benchmates.
Exactly.
But I did do it. And I remember somebody got a bottle of ink. Like, this is like asking for disaster to happen, and it broke inside the class, and it was like chaos all around, and all of our uniforms were, stained with ink that day. Beautiful memories. Yeah.
yeah.
So
yeah. And this ink spilling thing was always
not me.
Yeah.
Not me. I would
You're
never.
not happy.
I would never
So
do
this
that.
leaking. So basically, leakage was something you could get only in a fountain pen, right? All said and done.
Exactly.
And different pens used to leak in different ways.
Correct. And
Okay, I think that was the thing. So what you did intentionally, and then what you
Not
did
me.
unintentionally was
Not
like
me.
where we played
My
around with and
benchmates.
then started making all sorts of. Not you. See, you're feeling guilty. That means something. Say generally.
Okay, so since I said it would be a mixed session, I have a quiz question for you
Okay.
guys, because what is a session without learning anyway, right? So we should test each other's learning. Varun, get ready for another exam. Okay.
I'll need 10 years. Hold on.
Yeah. So here's the question. When ball pens were still the stuff of dreams, everyone made use of ink to write. People dipped their quill or pen into a bottle of ink before putting words on paper. But fountain pen ink doesn't dry very quickly. Sometimes one had to wait for a long time before the paper absorbed the ink. To quicken the drying process, people used to sprinkle an absorbent powder on the paper. Once the ink had dried, the paper was shaken to remove the powder. Origin of what phrase? I know at least there are 2-3 quizzes in the group. So Vishak and Abhishek, you better get this. Meghna.
Origin of what? Origin of what?
This was
What
a
is the last
phrase
sentence?
a phrase originated from this. What was the phrase?
Just repeat that last sentence.
Yeah. Once the ink had dried, the paper was shaken to remove the powder.
Shake it
Is
like a
it
Polaroid.
before the dust settles?
Okay. Somebody said shake it like what?
Okay, so the question is like, like the ink used to be wet and it used to take forever
Yeah,
to
so
dry.
then-
So they used to put some powder on it and they used to shake the paper off after it was written and, blow it.
Yeah,
So,
and the powder would get off.
so what
The
phrase is
blue-
originated from that practice?
Yeah. So
Okay. I mean, I don't know the answer, but I just
you're just
understood the
repeating
question.
the question. This is how you try engineering. Abhishek, Vishak, Gokul, Meghna.
Well, definitely there is. I think there should. I know that there is a phrase with the ink is dry, but I am not able to place it as of yet. I'm just trying to think about
Some
it.
technological,
Hello.
whatever. Yeah.
Is it before the dust settles?
Who's speaking?
AG.
Oh, no, Abhishek, no, you're not.
Oh God. Okay. Is it before the dust settles?
No.
Okay. Bye.
The other Abhishek, who's also a quiz master and was surprisingly silent.
I am not able to work it out.
Yeah.
Does the phrase have the word shake in it? So like shake it off, like
No,
so shake
it does
off
not.
your worries.
That's your clue. It does not have the word shake in it.
Shake it off.
You
Shake
know,
it off.
I just remembered why I love quizzing so much. Just like looking at you guys. Okay, so I'll give
Feeling
you 10 more
special,
seconds.
no?
10 more seconds.
No, give more hints.
Hey, Ashte, this is a very simple phrase. No more hints. It will be very obvious. Okay, I'll give you a
No,
vision. So you put a powder, it dries. Come on, now you should get it at least.
What?
This is a paper. You
Okay.
write with it. The ink is wet, right? So you use some absorbent powder on top of it,
Uh-huh.
and the ink dries, and you remove the powder like this. What is the phrase now? You know what? None of you are getting it. So I'm going to give out the answer now. So the phrase is done and dusted.
Mm.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
How about that?
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to the next part. The inks. So you can get the most expensive pen in the world. Oh, before that, I haven't said hi to a few people in the group. I'll just do that. Rahul Anna, hi. Shravan, Suhasini,
Yes,
Praneeth.
Apurva.
Hi, Rahul Anna.
Tell me.
Thank you for joining.
My pleasure.
Okay, so let's move on to
Small-
the thing. Sorry?
Small tip.
Ah,
Your face, right, goes
yeah.
out of your camera.
Oh, okay. Is this better?
Yeah, better. See,
Oh,
whenever you are speaking, right, I need to see you.
yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's move on to the inks. A very fundamental truth about fountain pens is no matter how expensive your pens are, it means nothing if your inks are bad. Now everybody is like, what ink is just like colored water? Why do we even? How does it matter so much? But it turns out ink is what determines your fountain pen experience. And I will give you one tip to begin with. Take this Parker Quink ink. There's only one place where this belongs, that is in the dustbin, because it's
Wow.
bad. Okay, do not put this in your pen. It will clog up your pen like nothing else, and it will not give you a good writing experience, and it'll be hard to clean. It took me 3 days to clean the ink out of a Parker pen because I used the Quink ink. And the person who introduced me to fountain pen did no such service to me by telling me not to use this, but I am doing this to you. Do not use the Quink ink ever. And similarly, move on from the Camlin and the Brill inks, because
I
they're
think
not-
it's only fair that you should mention what was done when Walnut Brown was available with the Quink ink.
Yeah, so we actually flushed it down the toilet. This ink, we just actually flushed it down the toilet because it's that bad.
Because
What
I
is
really
exactly
needed
this
the.
Quink?
Okay, so shall I just take a moment to like explain the mechanics of ink?
Yeah, sure.
Please.
Okay, so ink is fundamentally water and color, right? That is the origin of ink. But what happens is how the color is being delivered. You know, what is the mechanism of color delivery is what is important. Now, there can be liquid sources of ink, powdered sources of ink, and crystalline sources of ink. I'm talking about the color, you know, the ink color. So when we talk about Chelpak or Brill or even Quink, these are all crystalline coloring agents, which are really finely ground. As a matter of fact, Chelpak and Brill, after you write it, you can see, you know, once the ink dries and you tilt it, you can see a sheen, you know, like the shiny surface. That's the crystalline surface, you know, powder that's kind of embedding into the paper. So if you wash it off, you can fundamentally wash away the crystalline, you know, the powder, and you have a clean piece of paper, right? So it is the easiest and the cheapest to manufacture. Now, what essentially Quink did, you know, when Parker came into India was they realized that there is no manufacturing facility available for any other type of ink. So they just took the same crystalline base that the other inks were using. They took water, they added a thickening agent, and, you know, like ground the crystalline powder a lot more finer than anybody else was. So off the bat, in comparison to say Shellpark or Brill, it was still a better ink. But like if you stop writing with that pen, it's going to clog up because of two reasons. One, the crystalline powder is extremely fine, so it like really gets into the twine, into the feed, into the capillary, and like the whole thing. And there is a thickening agent that kind of hardens over time, which either Brill or Shellpark doesn't. And if you can see, sorry.
Abhishek, I think you have to mute your audio if you're not talking.
So that is why, like, just like last fact on that is, when you take out an old Hero pen in which you didn't take out the ink, you can see these like snowflake rust patterns. It's essentially the sharp edges of the crystalline that's inside the nib where the rusting started. So what Apurva is saying, that Quink ink is not good, is essentially crystalline based coloring agents are not good for your pens.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Cool.
Super,
So I'll just
awesome,
show you
thank
my range of ink pens. Sorry, inks. So we'll start with the bad one, that is the Quink. And next we go to the Noodler. So like Pilot is a standard recommendation of mine for anyone who wants to get started in the fountain pen journey. If you have to have only one ink, please choose Noodler's ink. And I would specifically recommend the Noodler's Black. Classic shade, classic flowability. It is waterproof ink and it suits all pens. Most pens that I've used, which I have a good range, even if I don't have a lot of numbers. I have a good range of fountain pens. Sorry, did anybody want to say something? Okay. So go with the Noodler's Black. I have 3 shades in Noodler's. So one is the black, the other is Noodler's Roses, which is a shade of pink ink. I will show you all of these in a second. And the other is the Noodler's Walnut Brown, which is a shade of brown ink. Apart from Noodler's, a few other good brands of ink is called, this is called the Diamine ink, right? So Diamine inks are also very beautifully made, very smooth flowing inks, and adjust well with any type of paper, and they have beautiful solid colors that I would really recommend you to check out. So I have 3 colors in the Diamine inks. One is the ASA Blue. It is this shade of ink. And the other is the purple ink, a stunning shade of purple, by the way. And this other shade, which is called the Rosé Noir, which is, I also think it's a name of a wine. Based on the shade of the wine, this ink is made. And this is the ink that is in my Diplomat right now. Beautiful, beautiful shade of ink. I will show you how all of them write in just a second. But if you really are a proponent of vocal for local, I hope I got that right, or Make in India, there is a ink back home which you can buy as well. So these inks are a little expensive by nature because these are all handmade and every bottle varies, right? So they make it specially for you. These are not mass manufactured by machines. These are handmade inks. But if you want something that you can buy in India, which is a little more affordable than Noodler's and all, I will tell you the price ranges if you're interested. What you can go for is Krishna ink. Krishna ink is the brainchild of Dr. Sri Kumar. So Dr. Sri Kumar is a connoisseur of fountain pens and he's been working with fountain pens for so many years now. So what he did is in 2010, he started working on producing his own inks, and he's actually come up with an impressive range of inks in the Indian scenario, considering there aren't too many fountain pen users in the Indian subcontinent compared to the other countries. So this is very affordable. Again, very affordable is relative because a bottle of Noodler's, this 90 ml, will last you 4 to 5 years at least. So the thing with fountain pens is we're looking at longevity, not short-term gains. So this will last you 5 years and it will cost you about $12. That's around, I think $850 or $860 or something, which is quite expensive compared to the 20 rupees Brill ink, right? I totally get it. I have been there, I've deliberated, I'm like, why should I invest so much when this works just as well? But it is a long-term investment. It will keep your pen in good shape for the rest of its life. So you're actually saving all the investment of future 100 pens that you'll buy, 100,000s of pens, not wasting the plastic, and this ink will take care of your pen. And it won't dry, no matter how long you keep it. You might have to move it around a little bit, but it'll never dry like how just Varun explained it because of its crystalline base. So the shade of Krishna inks that I have is called Jungle Volcano. You can check out penworld.com, and they have like this range of beautiful fountain pen inks of Krishna inks, and they have all types of ink. Coming to the next part is the types of ink that are present. So there are about 4 to 5 types of inks present. One is the scented ink, which, you know, you get like beautiful smells like rose, or, you know, it depends on the manufacturer. The other is a sheen ink that it shades, right? It shades. And so shading ink is different. Sheening is 2 colors come prevalent in an ink. You can see 2 colors juxtaposing each other beautifully. And the other is the shimmering ink, which will have shine, right? So I'll show you pictures of all these inks. So then you'll get a good idea of what ink to buy. And each ink has its own, you know, yay. Oh, I totally forgot to show you this. This is parts of a fountain pen. I can send it to you. You can go through with it at leisure. I'll send you a few links as well. And the Diplomat Aero I showed you, which I told you is based on an aircraft. That aircraft is shaped like this. This is called the Zeppelin aircraft. Inspired by this, the Diplomat Aero is there. And these pens are at least 100 years old. Not mine, but the company itself. So this is a shading ink. So you can see how different shades of orange, different shades of blue come forward in an ink. And this is a sheen ink. So you can see blue, pink, all coming forward. This is called a sheening ink. It'll have 2 colors juxtaposing each other beautifully, and it'll come out randomly. And this is a shimmering ink. So it is shiny. So there are particles of teeny tiny glitter in it, which shines when you put it on paper. This is also mostly sheen ink because it usually has more than 1 color. It usually has 2 or 3 colors at least. And I've just given a palette just for a reference. These are Diamine inks, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so this is the sheen inks of Diamine. So these are the range of inks you can choose from. Stop share. Yeah. And
Apurva, just a question. Did you say Diamine inks?
Yeah.
DIAMINE, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so that's a brand of ink which I already showed you 3 inks of. So they have all the range of these.
It's a brand?
Yeah, it's a brand.
Okay, all right.
So these type of inks are called shimmering inks and sheen inks and scented inks. So each brand has these categories of ink present in them. So my favorite brand is definitely Noodler's ink, and closely followed by Diamine ink. And the other ink which I really like is the Monteverde ink. So the color I have is emerald green. So this is a little less expensive compared to those inks, equally good. But the ink which really takes the cake for me in my own collection is the Robert Oyster Signature ink. The beautiful part about these inks are that they're handmade, hence you cannot reproduce the exact same thing. So there is little bit of variability in every batch of ink. So, you know, the maker leaves his impression in the ink, his or her impression in the ink. And this is a sheen ink. So I'll show you the picture just a second. So can you guys see this? Can any one of you tell me if you can see this?
It's too faint. I can just see that there are some words in different
colors. Yeah, you don't have to know which words, but I'm just showing you the color of inks.
No, I can't
Bring it more closer.
Hold it a little closer.
Yeah.
Is this good? Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to show you. So the first ink that you see is the Noodler's Ottoman Rose. It is like a shade of pink ink, like dark pink ink. And the second ink you see is the Krishna ink. So it's color of a volcano. And this is also sheening ink. You can see light to dark. I'm not sure if you can see this in the video, but this is also a beautiful
It's
sheening
not
ink.
too clear. Yeah.
It's not too clear, I
It's
can
not-
imagine. But once you write with it, you can see different shades of yellow and orange come together. This is the Monteverde green. I just scribbled all over it because I was just testing the inks. This is Noodler's walnut brown. So in a professional setting, it's ideally recommended that you don't use ink that's just too in your face, right? So all of these inks are for my personal use. If I were to use it in a professional setting, I either go for a walnut brown, which is very neutral, blends in beautifully, or my classic Noodler's black ink, which is always my staple. I always have one pen filled with the Noodler's black. Okay, can you see this clearly? And the next one is the rose-colored ink that I showed you, the Pinot Noir. I'm sorry, I think I said it was diamine ink. It's not diamine, it's Monteverde. And the last, this is Colorverse. So Colorverse is from South Korea. So again, one of brilliant inks, and they give you a lot of free goodies. So I suggest you go for it. It's a little expensive though. And this is also Colorverse, but this is not an ink I have. I just have a small sample of this. This is, if I'm not sure, it's Hayabusa. Varun, is that Hayabusa? Varun? Okay.
Sorry.
Is this the Hayabusa, the blue one which you've given me, Colorverse?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's the Hayabusa. So that's the ink portion of it. I think the last thing that we have to cover is the paper. All of these take equal weightage on how important it is to have a good pen, good ink, and good paper. You can have brilliant ink, brilliant pen, but if you write it on cheap paper, it will spread, it will feather. I'm pretty sure you would have experienced, like, when you're writing in your notebooks with your ink pen, it's like sort of grainy structures come on your page, and like, you know, it's like the page is splitting itself. So this is called feathering. Okay, so I'll just cover two types of paper today because I'm not proficient. I'm not even introduced to the world of paper properly because fountain pens are so expensive. I do not want to get into the paper world. It'll be even more expensive. So the one paper that I really want to talk about, it's called the Tomoe River paper. So the Tomoe River paper is every fountain pen user's delight. The standard A4 size sheets that we use is 80 GSM paper, that is 80 grams per square meter. And these Tomoe River papers are 52 grams per square meter. So these are much thinner than your A4 sheets. And the name why it's called Tomoe River is it's from Japan, and next to the manufacturing facility, there was the Tomoe River, wait, I have the name written. Tomogama River that flows right next to the, sorry?
Rahul here, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I have another meeting, a society meeting, so I'll be dropping off.
Yeah.
Excellent effort from your side and very knowledgeable, session on the fountain pens. Thank you very much. I'll connect to you later, okay?
Yeah. Bye, Raulana. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
So this is the last part, that is the paper. This is the Tomoe River paper. Beautiful, beautiful paper. And I told you about the shading ink, right? So this paper facilitates for beautiful shading and it does not see through on the other side. This is very thin, but it still does not feather. That's why it is such a fountain pen user's delight. I got this free of cost. This is very expensive paper. If I'm not wrong, I have some 80 sheets and it will cost you some 1,500 just for this much paper. So very expensive paper. I don't really recommend anyone to buy this. I just got it. I just use it whenever I can. So yeah, I think I pretty much covered all the things that I wanted, but I want to show you guys two more videos. So I hope you guys can stay. It's just 2 or 3 minutes videos, but it's really fascinating videos. So the one that I'm going to show you now is from Japan. It is called a fountain pen hospital. And we'll see the passion of these fountain pen users to their pen. So it's like craft, right? They hone years and years making their device, and so they have a much deeper connection to it. I'll just show you 2 more videos and I think we're done and we can take questions if you have.
Before we continue, I just wanted to add to what Varun had to say earlier regarding what inks are. Can
Okay.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah. No, yeah. So as Varun had explained earlier, it's all crystalline material. You see inks, which and he was explaining how things get clogged because of, especially in the Parker ink, why the pen got clogged because of its really fine crystal structure.
Yeah.
Just to add on that, inks basically are colloidal solutions, right? So you have like really fine particles in the nano regime. That's the size scale you're talking about. That is dispersed in some sort of solid. It may be water. Usually it is water, but it can be other solvents as well. It can be other media as well. How these things now, how this cloggability works does not only depend on how finely crystalline or how crystalline it is, but it also depends on something known as aggregation thermodynamics. So what happens is these really fine crystalline particles, they clump up, they form they form a hierarchy of structures, right? So you have this ink exists in 4 or more than 4 different possibilities in the ink solution, as you see. So you can see them as finely as crystalline particles. You can find them agglomerated to form spherical particles. You can form those spheres sort of clump up together to form these weird aggregates, like fractal aggregates. And those fractal aggregates can further agglomerate to form more agglomerate structures. So you have like a really complex structures that's present. It's not only finely crystalline, but you have this whole range of different structures present in ink materials. So basically your cloggability, all of that comes down to something known as a mesh size. So imagine you have like a bunch of these different particles and they're all sort of holding to each other, right? So the more they tend to hold each other, the more they will tend to clog up in your pen because they don't want to let go of each other, right? So you want basically the main aim for all these fountain companies is to do research on trying to make this less cloggable as possible, and hence sort of like you can say increase the mesh size so that they can like easily flow. So this is something I just wanted to add to what.
So thank you for that. I didn't know a lot of that as well. So Vishak is a research scientist, and hence he brings the scientific perspective wherever he goes. I think, I'm not sure. So
I am sorry. I just thought I'll just add a little bit.
Yeah, no, it is good. I really liked it. So can you see this, all of you?
Yes.
So this is called feathering of ink. I'm sure you would have all experienced it.
Can we see it again?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this is a combination of, this is mainly just bad paper, right? So this is what we want to avoid. Any fountain pen, anyone who knows their stuff in fountain pen would not use any paper that feathers. But sometimes the thing is we don't really have it in our control what kind of paper we have, cheap paper, expensive paper. And it's impractical to expect me to use Tomo River every day. I go through like 10 sheets of writing almost every day. I cannot afford it. Most people cannot. But if any of you feel like gifting me, you're most welcome to. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah. So what you can do is you can choose a combination of factors, a pen and an ink that works with all ranges of paper. And again, my suggestion is go with Pilot Metropolitan, go with Noodler's Black, inexpensive, good to use in a variety of landscapes, and doesn't occur any of these issues. And I'll also show you that the Noodler's Black is waterproof mostly. Okay, it's like 85% waterproof, but if you really want to rub it with water, it will go, and the paper will also go with it. So I'll just show you 2 videos, and I think then we can see if anyone has any. If you have any question, you can just ask right away. Anyone has anything to add, I would love to hear it. Otherwise, I'm going to play the video. So this is based from Japan, and I hope this is not lagging again. So this is from the Fountain Pen Hospital, or so they call it.
Hi.
すみません、万年さんがそれが、はい。主に用途としては、お手紙、日記、いろいろあるかと思いますけども、主に手紙チャレンジですね。はい。万年筆も非常にお値段もその種類も幅がございますけども、大体失礼ですが、ご予定としてはいくらぐらいのご予定でしょうか。1万前後ぐらいで。はい、承知しました。はい。ちょっとお出しします。
Guys, can you see the video?
No,
Nope,
we're
not at
not
all
viewing.
actually.
Yeah, it just said that. Hold on. Did you see anything?
It
No, it
moved
was
a
just
little and
still.
then it became
The
still.
mountain.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Please interrupt if you cannot see the video.
Apurva? Apurva, can you hear me?
すみません、万年筆がそれが、はい。主に用途としては、お手紙、日記、いろいろあるかと思いますけども、主に手紙チャレンジですね。はい。万年筆も非常にお値段もその種類も幅がございますけども、大体失礼ですが、ご予定としてはいくらぐらいのご予定でしょうか。1万前後ぐらいで。はい、承知しました。はい。ちょっとお出しします。はい。
Pen factory.
朝取られて座られた方が姿勢としては一番自然でしょうから。
Oh, is someone calling me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, I'll continue. I'll just finish this.
インクが入っていませんのでね、つけてお試しになられてくださいませ。
I think it stopped again, didn't it? Meghana?
Yeah, it stopped.
Okay.
Sort of laggy, but it's okay.
いわゆる試し書き、何が一番いいのかっていうお問い合わせの方が多いんですが、今まで多分一番多く書いたんじゃないかなと思われる文字、いやもう一番端的に言いましたらご自分のお名前、それが例えば長崎におられるとしたら長崎っていうのはもうかなりの回数書いておられるはずなので、これは悪口だけしてないんですが、よくこういうことをなさる方がおいでになるんですが、こういうのはあんまり比較的万年筆では本当はないですね。はい。そうですね。だから長崎なら長崎、ご住所とか、ご自分のお名前、ご家族のお名前なんか試し書きなさるのが一番書き慣れた文字で試すというのが万年筆は一番書き味、お好みが分かりやすいかと思います。はい。いいえ、とんでもないです。実は今もう何にもおっしゃらないのに次から次に3種類お出ししましたけど、これが実は日本製の三大メーカーの代表的な品物ばっかりです。実は全部メーカーが違うんですけどね。はい。これはもういい悪いじゃなしに非常に乱暴な説明ですが、手に合われるのでいいですよっていうのが私どものアドバイスなんですが。はい。ボールペンやシャーペンと違いまして、ボールペンの場合はさっと使いたいからもういわゆるワンタッチで使いたいと、こういうペンで使いたいとおっしゃる方多いんですが、万年筆の場合は
時間的なものと気持ちの上で、さっともうネジを開けるのももうめんどくさいと、その数秒間がイライラするっていうことはまずありえないことが多いんで、時間的なものと心の余裕があるときに使う場合が多ございますので、そういうことから考えたらやっぱりネジの方がいいかなというのが万年筆者としてのアドバイスです。はい。最近はもう今言ったことと逆かもしれませんけど、パチンっていうのは短期間で甘くなるようなお粗末な作りはしておりませんからですね、それはそれで大丈夫なんですが。
Yeah. So I think we are at the end of our session now. If you guys have anything to say, you're welcome. First thing, the average attention span is now reduced to 8 seconds, and all of you stayed for an hour. It could be because I'm a really good friend of a lot of you. And yeah, but whatever, thank you for staying. It means so much to me. And I think fountain pens are such a personal thing. And it's this journey you go on through your life. And, you know, every time you write, the fountain pen has a memory, by the way. It over the years, it adjusts to your style of writing, and it just get used to it. The way you use your pen, the way you tilt it, the way you dot your eyes, the way you write it in cursive or use your full stop. It's something I feel like everyone should experience once in their lifetime. Hence, why I did this in the first place. I hope you guys had fun. If you want to say anything, please, now is a good time. Please, any feedback or anything else that you want to add. Thank you for staying till the end, and I hope you guys had fun. If you didn't, who am I kidding? Of course you had fun. But yeah, please, the stage is now yours. Is this silence
hello.
because you're all so stunned?
Can I say something?
Sorry?
Hello. Am I audible? Can I? Okay. So first of all, I would like to say that I'm a newbie to this fountain pen journey thing that you guys are all sharing, and it is kind of nice to hear all the interesting stuff you guys talked about fountain pens. Honestly, the last thing I remember about fountain pens is I would just throw it on the table and just watch it suck the ink back up. Okay. Yeah, that is what it is. Anyway, this was a very fun and interacting session for me, and my roommates also like got interested in between and started watching it with me, and they would appreciate it if you could send that Japanese ink fountain ink hospital thingy video to me later.
Can you guys leave me your email ID? I'll send you recommendations, links that I want you guys to refer, and the links of the videos that I played today. And I will share all of that, Avnish. Thank you so much.
Yeah. No, thank you. Actually, thank you.
Pranita are you here? Okay, I think Varun wants to talk. Varun, go ahead.
No, I mean, I think like over time, this kind of a community should be built, because it's like I think what really helps is it's not about just the writing. It's not about what you write. It's about the emotion of care. And I think to have that ecosystem created, I think you've taken a fantastic first step. And maybe like we can think about like meeting up once a month, like having a half an hour session and just saying what we did with our fountain pens, or maybe have like joint ink, like fountain pen cleaning sessions where just sitting on a Zoom call and cleaning our fountain pens. Like inky fingers, hashtag inky fingers.
By the way, can you see this? Yeah, I think that's such a fantastic thing.
Pinky fingers.
Yeah. The thing is, like I said, fountain pens are not just about writing, right? So when you're in grief or any intense emotion you feel and you write it, there's a bonding formed with your pen that okay, this is how I felt when I wrote about all these emotions. And I think that matters so much more than the cost of pen or anything else. That is why I said no matter how many pens I'll own in my lifetime, that Pilot Metropolitan was my first special one, and I've forever imprinted on it, and it'll stay that way. And I wanted to have that kind of relationship with in a way, it is living, it has its embodiment with an object. If I can reduce it to so much, I don't want to, but like just for convenience purpose. Yeah. So who else? Meghna, do you want to say something? Abhishek, Ashwini, Gokul.
Yeah. Hi.
I just admire your passion. Yeah, that's it.
Thanks. Yeah.
So much. Doesn't matter what it is. Just went totally with it. Amazing.
Thanks so much, Gokul. Did I show enough Navarasas on screen, by the way?
It was there. It was there.
Thank God. Sir would have been proud.
I wanted to get more of it, but yeah. We'll do it one more time.
So Gokul and I, we went to this, a workshop, a classical workshop on Navarasa Sadhana in Kerala together. So that's how we know each other. And so I hope I didn't disappoint our training. Did I?
No.
Okay. Thanks, Gokul. Thanks for stopping by. It means so much. Meghna, the stage is yours.
Yeah. Hi. It was a really well presented session. And thanks to Apurva for organizing it and structuring it very well. And finally, I can admit you have a good sense of humor also. Quite charming at times.
Yes.
Yeah, and thanks Varun also for contributing with your knowledge. And I think even Vishak.
I'm still reeling from shock that you said Apurva has a good sense of humor. Hold on.
I am funny and pretty. Deal with it, all of you.
I'm obligated to say one nice thing per
That
year.
is definitely debatable.
Shravan, you don't have to chime in at the wrong time.
Hey,
I would
Shravan.
agree. Sorry.
I miss your laugh. Shravan's laugh is the best.
Laugh. Okay, before we get distracted, Meghna, finish your thing and maybe then we can,
Then we can gossip
Yes,
about Shravan's laugh. Yeah. So I have actually one question, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not planning on buying a lot of pens. Like I bought one and like I'm done. So all these inks that you described, a lot of them are fascinating. Like I want to be able to write in different colored inks.
Correct.
So what is your suggestion on changing inks for the same pen, like different colors?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
What's
I
the practice
absolutely.
for that?
Sorry. Yeah. So the thing is, it's natural to want to change. So what you can do is you can establish one pen and you can just buy like different colored inks, and even inks have different properties. Every ink has its different viscosity, flowability, thickness. So what you have to do is there's a cleaning routine that I will take a video of. It wouldn't be very effective on Zoom because I don't know the camera angles and all. Maybe Meghna can help me with it. But I'll take a video of the cleaning routine, and it's such a therapeutic thing to clean a fountain pen and to remove all traces of ink from it. And you can put in any other ink. I can actually just show you right away how to. I won't show it to you in detail. So this is the Pilot Metropolitan. Can you all see this? I'll just get this in a little more. So what you have to do, okay, maybe this isn't the best pen to show right now. Hold on. Yeah, so this is also a Pilot Metropolitan. So you just have to remove this. Just have to see, this is where all the ink is. And this is the nib part of it. So you just have to clean this, keep it aside. And then what you have to do is, this is really what I prefer to do, is you can take a syringe and you can put water through this gap, this hole you see, just put water through it. So any remnants of ink that is present in this body of pen will get washed away. And if you really want to be thorough like me, just like you really enjoy cleaning your fountain pens, there's a way to unscrew your nib. And you just have to turn this. This is different for each pen, so be careful. I am not responsible if you spoil your pen, just a disclaimer, but if you want any help, I'm here to help. So what you can do is you can remove this and see all the ink residues that you can see that you can remove. Just dip it in water. You can remove the ink, the nib from this also completely. And all you have to do is put it back. and then you can put any ink that you want, like 1,000,000 times. That's why fountain pen is so sustainable.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Nice to hear.
Also, just to chime in, like changing the ink almost feels like you're changing the pen because of how much of the writing experience is actually in the ink, not just in the pen.
Right. Yeah. So, Abhishek, do you want to say something?
Yeah. So before this session, I don't think I would have considered buying a fountain pen. And when you came to the point of talking about the paper, I rolled my eyes because really fountain pens, ink, and even paper. But now I am considering, I'm open to buying a fountain pen, and I think that's the
Next
impact
year
this session
birthday,
has had.
I'll gift you only. Okay.
This session has had on me, and particularly the Japanese video at the end, because I think the Japanese have a lot of interesting philosophies, be it making tea or their whole lifestyle. So yeah,
Agreed.
so I'm now open to buying and using a fountain pen, and yeah, I think that's
Yay,
something.
objective achieved. Thanks, Abhishek. Ashwini. Ashwini, can you hear me?
Hey, hi.
Hi. Did you enjoy
Sorry,
the
I
session?
joined late. Yeah, my only regret is that I joined late.
That's okay. I have it recorded. I can give it to anyone who
Previous
wants to.
session.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Ashwini.
Loved it. And of course, I'm buying a pen. I'm actually thinking, I think I'll buy my first pen, and then my birthday is in July, so I'm gonna ask everybody. So I don't want any other gift. So this is it.
I
This is it.
can
I'm
give
just gonna
you
send links.
beautiful recommendations, and you're gonna love this journey.
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
guarantee
gonna
you.
do. Yeah. Yeah. Pura, I want to have a collection now. Like I'm obsessed.
I can.
Anyway, I've just started learning calligraphy, so
Oh,
that's
this is a
gonna
good time
like
for
really
you.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was perfect. That's why I was looking forward to the session. Great, yeah. Thank you so much, Abhi.
Thanks, yeah. You're so
Like always. Amazing.
I think Pranita, are you still here? ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಗಿದ್ದಾಳೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. Shravan, come on, let everyone hear your laugh.
Right. It was
Yes.
actually very interesting and it was very nice, and I didn't know there was like so much to a pen and things like that, you know. And then it was how to say, and it was what?
No, what are you hung up with? You're very distracted.
Yeah, because I was eating, so that's why.
Thanks for the priorities.
Hunger, food is top number one priority.
Okay, Shravan,
Apurva. I think you should know this.
Shravan, don't get
I
distracted.
think no, but I think you of all people should realize that, right? I mean, we bonded over our love for food. Yeah, but anyway,
can
it
I
was
hear
very
you sniggering?
nice. What?
Meghna is sniggering.
That's because I'm the only face you can see. So stop
No, I can't
fixating
even
on my
see the face. I heard it.
No, I was muted. That was someone else.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, Shravan, what, do you like it?
Yeah. Definitely, you should do more of these sessions.
Yeah, and maybe you can buy like really fancy pens from Singapore while coming. Please.
Sure. That's what I was about to ask you next. What pen you want from here? So I'll get it to you.
I love you. Don't take this the wrong way, but I do.
I'm definitely gonna take that the wrong way.
Shravan.
Now I'm snickering.
I almost want to let everyone in on the joke.
Okay, let's not.
No. Okay, so thank you for joining today. I think I'm going to end the session now. I hope we can form a community, and please consider fountain pens. Might be a little heavy initial investment, but I can promise you the journey forward will be more fruitful. Thank you so much for coming, you guys. It means a lot to me. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
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 Everyone.
Hello, Apurva.
Yeah.
We and a bunch of our roommates have a doubt. Like we are, very new to this
Yeah. Go
fountain
ahead.
pen journey, and we are like, what is the maybe cheapest, maybe economic pen that we can buy for with good ink, which doesn't, as you said, feathering and all that thing.
Okay. So what's your budget? I can suggest a pen in that.
What's the budget that we are looking for? Maybe within 1,500, I guess.
Go with Pilot Metropolitan. I'll send you an Amazon link. It will come within that range. Aita, definitely go with Pilot Metropolitan, and I'll tell you by the specific Krishna ink that I tell you. Don't invest in Noodlers right now because it's a little expensive. But if you're okay with it, Noodlers is no doubt the best ink for you guys. It's around 850 for ink, but Krishna ink is around 275. So you can go either way.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye, Avnish. Thanks, for coming.
Bye, Leah.